So we're actually live now. Just waiting for it to come up. I'll share it on. I'll share it.
Are you sharing it on YouTube?
I'm sharing it's on Facebook. We're live on Facebook right now. Just making it public.
Okay. You're sharing it on YouTube. Let me share it. I'm gonna.
Well, I was going to share it on your timeline.
Yeah.
And I'll share it on Tariq's as well.
Mm-hmm.
Should we share it on? Should we share on Surrey Police's timeline as well?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, there might be somebody there to help. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, you might find a good one. They've got to be looking, haven't they? There must be the talk of the town. I wonder if it's the same police that went around and did the same today.
I mean, some of them might not even know what really is going on. They just.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. The thing is, this is it with the most of them, right? With most of them, like, they find it too hard to believe, therefore they don't even look into it. They just take it as it is. Greeting, Yvonne. Hey, it's Tariq now. Hi, Jean. Hi, Marie. Hi, Billy. Or James, should I say? Right then. We're calling this one Pyramid of Terror. Tariq Zahid's whole family targeted. Gaslighting 101 by public servants. For those what I mean by gaslighting, yeah, this is terrorization. We all know about Carol Woods. She had 19 years, 20 years of it, yeah. They destroyed everything. They attacked all her family so that they left her all on their own. And that's exactly what they're trying to do again. They're trying to single out Tariq so that he's all left on his own. They're trying to destroy their family so that they can just leave him out to dry. And that's what's going down here. So I think that's
the idea that I have a community behind me and the family, because they've all said, we are now going to bring the whole community out, because the community are now saying, what the hell is going on? What? 2 months after your mother has been buried and passed away and the police failed to investigate a suspicious death in hospital? No, they have no idea who they're dealing with.
Exactly, mate. And all we want is to be made certain. Show us the claim. That's it. You've made the claim. Now provide the material evidence to substantiate that claim. Hey up, Andy. Hey there, mate. Shared to page. We'll share to group soon. Cheers, Jean. Actually, somebody could share this if you can. I don't know, to Surrey Police as well, because you know, like you're saying, we may find 1 or 2 decent policemen and women in there that actually do adhere to their oath and that do understand what the Nolan principles are and that will do the right thing, because apparently there are some good police out there. All we need them to do is please stand up, you know, stand up.
In fact, if you can at least attach for the attention of Joel of Staines police station, he's now been promoted from sergeant to inspector, so he's in now the top back office overlooking all cases. And he was the most honourable police officer I had met, because he went into the courtroom himself for me and said, I am letting him go. What did the court say? They said, okay. Did they need to argue? No, that was fact. Please run the court. Why did he go in for me? Because he was honourable. He knew that 24-hour period. You're brought in on a warrant, which I have never seen. On this occasion, I was kidnapped. I was held, but Joel, the sergeant from Staines, but on that night, because he was working Guildford. He spoke to me. He did everything, looked out for me, and he knew what I was talking about. But he spoke to me, even though I did dish out some abuse to him, because I just felt that all the police officers were wrong, especially in Guildford. But this one, he held his ground. And he brought me on his side. He did his job. And Joel of Staines Magistrate, if he gets hold of this, because he's an investigator now, he sees this, he's not going to let this go. So I think it'll be a good idea to attach that to him. Now you mention that, Andrew. He
Yeah,
is a.
Yeah, we've got to find them honourable ones because they are in there. There's got to be. They've got to be. Let's work at it logically, right, guys? If there wasn't any good ones in there, we'd already lost. There's nothing we can do because you can see they've got the full force of what they're using, which is that pyramid of terror. They're all working together. So there's got to be some honourable ones in there, and it's time they did stand up. It would be a breath of fresh air, wouldn't it, to actually see them doing their job, what they're actually taking their money for.
Let me just mention, Andrew. From the house, I've just seen, I believe to be one of my family members' cars. They are actually carrying out neighbourhood watch.
What, your family members or the police?
Family members. I've just seen them where I am because I'm watching out onto the road to see what's on. There's a lot of police around. There was also around about 3 o'clock the police came to my uncle's home. Around right above that area was drone.
Oh yeah. So the neighbourhood watching with drone.
Now I'm watching out. There are police driving by, but I've just seen something. So what they're doing is driving by. Also, they're watching. They're carrying out. They're going by louds now after what's happened. They're on their toes now.
They're watching this. They're watching this feed.
Good.
Hopefully your family are as well.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine we're here. This is the scenario. Where is my thing? We're here, right? Or we're behaving like police because we're looking at crime and stuff, and the police is behaving like thieves because they're hiding and dodging and acting shady, and they can't produce their warrants and their court orders and their claims and their case management files. So they're acting like thieves. Very interesting.
There's a valid point that is there, Anthony, because let's work this one out logically, yeah? To you policemen out there, yeah, that are spending all the public's money, sending police, going out, arresting wrong people, breaking in people's houses, searching through the houses and sending all these police around at all the hours of the mornings, like all this police expense, yeah? And all you have to do is go and get the case management file with the application form that's got an information link to this order you've created from, and we're coming in. Tariq will come in. He wants to see it. Let us see it. That's so simple, isn't it? And while you're doing it, get all the rest of them as well, because it's all on computer record, isn't it? You're telling us it's a lawful and legitimate court hearing, so therefore there's going to be a public record of everything you're saying. So produce that evidence, and we come.
That's right. Emily Martin stated in her alleged stalking application to the courts, which she effectively sex offender side of stalking, not the standard way. How that got away with it. David Carson found that out and said that it's wrong. You have won this case. And she stated in her application that he has 30 other convictions. I have yet to see the paperwork for all of these. So please, there were 30 plus cases, people like you, to bring forward the material evidence, and I have no problem presenting myself. I have never had a problem. All I have problem is with thieves and kidnapping.
How much money do you think they've spent, just thinking about this, how much money have they spent of the public's purse on all these policemen going around doing all this and putting these adverts out and putting it in the newspapers and all this lot? How much money have they spent when all they had to do was go onto a computer file and print off the evidence that they must have had all in the first place? It must be there. It must be there for any of these things to have been legitimate and authentic.
I mean, they've got some money because they've just spent 20 million on a new premises. A wonderful listed building. I'd live there.
Isn't it?
That's the public's money.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use the offices that they were in before. No, not at all. So they're in for business. They're selling of the buildings and lands for development, and they move to bigger, more prominent sites. And taxpayer, congratulations, taxpayers. We are here because of you.
No, this you'd think actually. There's these videos. What one from yesterday and the other ones. You would think this should be like an absolute shock to the whole world, yeah. Because now you're seeing it. Because the police have brought it out into the public, making claims. This is the police making claims that Tariq has breached a stalking order. Yeah. Yet we've clearly stated for and on the record for the whole world to see that they don't exist. But the police have made a claim that they do. And they just make a claim with stupid words and pieces of paper with nothing of any authority from the court because there's no record of it. And they won't produce that. And they've spent thousands and thousands of the taxpayers' money paying these policemen to go around and be thugs. And these police that have gone around pretending to be policemen, but are real thugs, because they're taking orders from this is who we want to know to go and do this when there is no authority from the court and there is no paperwork and they've never been shown. It's a disgrace. Everyone in the world should be in uproars. Everyone should be on their phone calls now to the police saying, what the hell are you doing? Provide this material evidence and stop wasting police money, because this man will walk in as soon as you provide this evidence. Where is it?
Can I share the screen to back up what you're saying, Andy?
Yeah.
On this warrant.
Oh, 1 second. Oh. There you go.
So where is it?
And it's not like it's not like Tariq or yourself, anybody. It's not like it hasn't been asked for. I mean, how many times have this been asked for?
Oh, how do I share this one? Oh my gosh. So first you have to open it, then come back to Zoom. I am going to start the share screen again. Here we go. So this is Tariq's request, yeah? At one time, believe it or not, people, this is what Tariq received through the post. Marston Group from a P.O. Box. P.O. Box.
Non-contracting venue.
An arrest warrant. This is what they say is the warrant, but it says a notice. Oh, it says here warrant on the thing here. Arrest warrant from Marston's bailiffs.
Wow.
That's gang stalking gone to the extreme. I had one as well. I had a guy called Cornel Ventnor. He keep saying he's got a warrant to arrest me. I keep saying, you can arrest me, give me the warrant. You know? One morning he turned up outside my house with somebody in a police uniform in a Honda CRV at 6 o'clock, chain smoking a cigarette, waylaying me. When I'm taking my son to the school, I saw them. And I walked up to the car, they drove off like thieves.
Drove off like what they are.
And my neighbor chased them. And they got lost and stuck in a road. And he said, who are you? And he said, oh, we just got lost. We just lost. So they were lost sitting outside my door from 6 a.m. Yeah, till 8:30 a.m. This is the Marstons. They can't arrest nobody. They're not police. And this is what Tariq got. So nowhere on this document is there is no warrant number. They have Marston's reference, court reference. Reference is not a case number. Yeah, this is a scam. Arrest notice. And then they are trying to execute a warrant. Where is it? This is not a warrant. And now arrest officer, arrest services center. So we have something called arrest services now. Yeah? Arrest services
center.
with a mobile number.
A mobile number and a PO box address. Wow.
So Tariq, how do you feel when you get this kind of stuff?
I feel like buying myself a police uniform now because I think it must be okay now.
£50 on eBay. £50 on eBay.
That is the pyramid of the court. Marston's are the core of the pyramid of terror. They're the largest services, judiciary services provider. Manpower.
Yeah. Failure to make contact with the arrest officer will leave you liable for arrest at any time by a Marston's arrest officer or the police without further notice. A Marston's arrest officer. Woo!
They must be going around in police uniforms.
So we have a corporation called Marston's that are giving out pieces of paper with no author, no signature.
No signature, no stamp, no seal.
Now, you police now, you must know, yeah, under Company House 2006, Section 44, 1 and 2, yeah, that isn't a seal of Marston's at the top. That is just a header piece of paper. There's no seal on this document, and there's no wet-in signature on it, neither.
There's no quote on here.
There's nothing.
Yeah? It makes a reference to the court and tribunal service. Which court? East London, North London, Highbury, which one? Croydon?
What warrant arrest centre I will be taken to.
Where's the judge?
There's no court. If I'm going to a centre, what centre is it?
So you know when they were repossessing Margaret's house and she was standing up to them, they said they arrested her and they took her to a building in the middle of nowhere. It's not. They say it's a detention center, but it's in the middle of nowhere and there's no police there. It's just like like a South American captivity center where the gangs take people, and then they said they have no record of any arrest on the system.
They didn't even know the police were.
Gang centres, isn't it?
So Tariq, we are demanding now. Whoever this number belongs to, this mobile number, be pursued the same way they're pursuing you. And Garrett Hughes, the chief executive of Marston's on 11 million basic salary a year, must immediately be arrested. I have no less than 20 of these myself from Marston's, and I've made an inquiry with all the authorities and Marston themselves. They cannot produce anything.
Are you police going to keep saying that this is just a civil matter? Because it seems that's all you want to do is a civil matter.
Impersonating the court is in the statute, section 135 of the County Court Act 1984, 7 years per item. They're pumping these out by the million. Yeah. You know, by the million. Arrest notice. The man is living like a criminal, and the criminals are the people making up these false documents and terrorizing him. This is like terrorism of the public.
100%. And the police are meant to be there to protect the public.
I mean, this is the artwork Tariq did. He's going to turn it into an NFT. Maybe it will make millions. The pyramid of terror. The police, the court, and the council are acting as a terrorist group working on fake warrants against the public. The old people, they're taking their houses away from the family, from their inheritance, on fake warrants, fake liability orders. They're working with the illegal bailiff, Marston's, Equita, Capita, all the names. It's a pyramid. They all come up to the same dark forces. Yeah? And the public servants are paying the price. They're all on a big fat wage and contracts as well. And when you're fighting them, you're getting no income. So it's a very unfair fight. So, Tariq, you're a tradesman. While you're there trying to investigate your case and stay out of the way of these Marston's gangsters, you can't earn a living.
Today was the deadline. My tools should have been returned by the boat owner. So the police have said if it's not returned at the location that you stated, and this was the police giving me the advice, send one more message with the location on the day to return the tools. If they're not returned, we will then get involved. So Kingston Police Station, police, you now have to investigate the theft of my tools which have not been returned. And each day that they have not returned, I am losing £150 to £200 a day in labour. Are you going to now investigate?
It's a fundamental human right, you know, your right of your vocation. Nobody can take your tools. The police have taken your car and your tools how many times, Tariq?
5. And we found the locations of where the cars are taken to, so they are not crushed, as they say. DVLA produced, and the locations are in London.
Get to George's car, and the same thing, they sent him a letter from the DVLA, your car has been crushed, that or whatever. How can you crush a car? Secondly, if you scrap the car, you have to have a certificate of destruction. Where is it? But the people don't know the law because we've been forced to get solicitors. The solicitors are part of the gang. Yeah, they cannot violate the Bar Association unwritten code. You cannot question the validity of a court proceedings. You must go and pretend that the court procedure is legitimate and screw the client for money. And when the legal fee gets high enough, you go for a fake bankruptcy order and clean them out whatever they have left.
Well-created system. Hundreds of years in the making.
But now we come to the master key. It is so simple. Show me the code procedure. Where is it? Where is the order you breached, Tariq? How many times you asked for it in writing?
This particular order, 1.5 years is really approached. So
you asked for it, you filed crime reports, you've been in court, they produce, and they're still sending people to your door, people in plain clothes. I saw 3 police come to your door on one of these videos in jeans. Are they police?
Who knows? They came with someone with a police outfit on. Yes, she was the gentle one.
No, but she had on a police top, but she had jeans bottom.
Yeah.
I never seen police walking around in jeans.
Right.
And they're supposed to have their hats and all that. That's a proper uniform. These are not, they can't be police, because even if they're coming from the police station as police, and they don't have the court order that they're talking about, immediately they're acting outside their jurisdiction. They're acting now in a private capacity. They are not a police officer in that moment just because they have the uniform. They are doing crime and fraud.
Kidnapping.
Huh?
Kidnapping. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Kidnapping.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and it's a shock and it's a shame. And I should imagine those police are actually holding their heads in shame. You know, the ones that have that have actually got a conscience still, that still feel empathy. You know, that still are part human, because a lot of these police are just completely robotic, man. And I'm not too sure what's gone down with them because of the compartmentalization of whatever it is, but there must be some in there. Like I say, that young girl that was the police that came to the door, she came back and she explained to you that she couldn't hear you on the phone. You can see that there was some compassion in this lady still. So there are police out there, and I know there's some good ones out there. We're waiting for you ones to stand up. We'll stand up by you, I can assure you. If you come forward, guys, I tell you, we can give you as much protection as we can possibly do, but we need you to stand up, man. We need you to perform, otherwise you're going to get taken down with the rest of these.
I mean, Tariq, at one time you kept asking them for the court procedure, and they asked the probation and everybody. They sent you a letter that you need a mental health checkup.
Yes, I think that was the 3rd occasion.
Oh my God! So you're asking for the court order, and now you got mental health. Who instigated this inquiry?
Well, that's what I'd like to know, because the previous occasions, they accepted that there is no mental health issues. And this came directly from my mother's carer on the day they arrived, when they were not supposed to arrive on that day.
But why is the mental health issue coming up? Are they doctors? You're asking, where is the prosecution? Where is the warrant? What's that got to do with mental? How does the NHS come into this?
Well, it's a business, as usual. It's a 400 billion a year business.
I mean, I tell you what happened today. George was they were trying to take his car off him on some insurance thing, and George was asking about it because he did have insurance, valid insurance, and the police are lying that he doesn't, and they were trying to take the car off him, and he's resisting, and his wife is there, and they're saying, you need to see a doctor. Yeah, so they're using the NHS. Anybody who questioned the documentation, they're using the NHS. We had Margaret. Police kept turning up at her door. She reported their illegal eviction so many times. They won't do anything. Cressida Dick at the time nobody will do anything. Simon Crick, the chief constable, won't do anything. But the police turned up at her door a few times, and she made inquiries. They said, oh, first of all, she phoned 101 and recorded it, so it's on the record. They have no record of these police visits. Then eventually she got a letter or email from the police. We came to do a welfare check on you. Welfare check is a health thing. So here she's illegally evicted, 3 years, making crime reports. Nobody does anything. It's all captured on video. Her door's broken, everything. Her belongings stolen. And they're not investigating that, not doing anything. But they come all the way from Northampton to London to do a welfare check. So they're using now the NHS all the time as a weapon against people who are asking the question, where is your authority?
You know what I think, you know, on your pyramid of terror, yeah? I actually do seem to, in my observation, I think the capstone of the pyramid is the NHS. Because that's why it's been sold out, guys, because that controls the whole lot.
I mean, my understanding is that the bailiff company, Capita, have given every GP surgery for a long time now a free receptionist in the GP surgery. But you believe it's an NHS person. When you go there in good faith, you're talking to the
private,
the health service. These people are there capturing your data. And when they find out you're elderly or vulnerable or whatever, they use against you that information. When Margaret had her case in Northampton County Court and she was sick and she stayed with Sandra in London and went to Sandra's GP, she got a letter from the solicitors to Sandra's address. And the only way they could know that is that they're in the court file. They're in her medical records in the court file. We had another scenario with, well, it's quite a few cases. In my own case, I made inquiries on the computer system to the Hertford County Court. I got reply from the bailiffs. And then we had Nilu sent registered post to the bailiff to Cedar Group and to Willesden Magistrate Court. And the person who signed for the letters at the Magistrate Court is the same signature to the bailiff company. Exactly the same signature. So we got some infiltration of the health service and the court service of illegal bailiffs. And the police, I dare say, we saw the Marston's document. The police is infiltrated. So it's all, the illegal bailiff is the root into the control of the public, into the child sex trafficking, all based on warrants. They take the kids, say they have warrants. That's it. It's as simple as that, people. Let's hammer this nail. We can break it. We half broke it. They're all resigning. Cressida Dick and Co. Yeah? All resigning because Scambossa TV, we're planting the seed. People are, latching onto it now. more powerful people than me and Andrew. And it is becoming something now because it's so easy and straightforward. You don't have no bloody court proceeding. You don't.
Exactly.
Courts don't exist.
Tell that to your psychiatrist.
Locked up immediately.
I mean,
You know,
let's
Tariq,
face it. I mean, on these mental health frauds, like, yeah,
but they're bringing it
there's
in.
no end of them, isn't there? I mean, look what they did to John Patterson again.
Aye.
The court themselves told you very clearly there is nothing on record. Yeah, nothing
And they
on
still
record.
have him locked
They
in.
stuck him in a mental health hospital. They poisoned him for a year to completely drug him so that he would go make a plea in something that never existed. Yeah. They signed him off saying he was mentally sound. We stopped him dead, didn't we? When we sent him all the information from Resolver, they took 2.5 hours out to read the information that was in there because he completely caught them out. And they said that John needed sectioning, and they put him back in. What happened there?
It's unbelievable. The mental health. I mean, you know, we had with my nephew this outfit called Together. They're sitting in the court, and nobody, as a charity, they have the court name on their document. They have the NHS name on their document, and they have Together Charity. So they're screwing you all around. They will never sign a document, but they just go between. And in my nephew's case, they sent an email that he was sentenced and this and that. And everybody was using this email as a court order.
Yeah.
Who are they? When we found out that they are actually Serco, put together by Serco. It's just unbelievable.
Churchill's grandson, eh? Soames yeah, Nicholas Soames, is it?
I don't know.
Look at the situation of this alleged stalking order. Now, the alleged victim, Carmela Cuesta, is under mental health. So they're also utilizing her position as mental health to say that the situation is far worse than what it is. So they're using her.
But if she's on a mental health, presumably she's not a credible witness of anything.
Everything.
But, you know, I don't even want to have this conversation here because all I want is, where is the prosecution? Where is the sealed order? Where is your warrant? I don't need anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Give me.
And it's not been produced. So what is
It can't be produced. It can't be produced. They can't produce it.
We know that.
Yeah?
We know that, but we're asking.
I mean, the fact we're doing this, Tariq, yeah? All the misery you're going, I feel it for you, brother. But the fact we're doing this, you know how many people you're inspiring, mate.
No, I know. This has not become personal because I have realised over the 7 years they have not just doing it to me. They're doing it to everyone. It's a
millions.
System. It's been a well-crafted system.
Let me show you something. Let me bring up my little resolver. I'm going to just demonstrate here. Where do I find it?
While we're at it, I'll just add the fact also about Carol Woods. I mean, Carol Woods, they took her and put her in a mental health ward.
Yeah.
She was blowing the whistle on child abuse. Yeah, again, she was a social worker. She had 19 years of torture, 19 years of this, what Tariq's going through right now, till they singled her out completely on her own. Then the council got somebody with inside the court, yeah, to create a piece of paper. It never came from the court. It was a 135. Okay. It didn't exist.
Can I tell you something about Carol Woods? Can I tell you something about Carol Woods, Andy?
Yeah.
I personally did the searches, yeah, on her registry trust file records and on the land charges register. There is nothing there, clean as a whistle. everything they're saying about court orders and all that is all false. There's no trace of it. So I've done that much. She did disappear after, so I don't know what happened. But, you know, I can personally vouch. But let me share this screen, something to show you the extent of this thing. This is my resolve, all right? So well, we can just start from the top. Hartford County Court, 3 years now. About 5 different cases there. They can't produce nothing. I managed to get one bailiff struck off there, which I believe is first or one in history, and I think there's another one somewhere. Manchester and Salford Magistrate Court, there's allegedly a case there against me and a warrant. They can't produce nothing. Liverpool, same thing. There must be 4 or 5 cases there for me with liability orders. They can't produce nothing. Collectica, which I believe comes under Marston's, 4 years. They can't produce their warrant. Barnard Marcus, who sold my flat, and the money goes to somebody's daughter. They can't produce nothing. Central London County Court, they owe me a mandatory order for 3 years now. They won't give me the order. That's for 200 grand, by the way, in my favor against a barrister. So there's nothing to do. They have to give me the order. There's no other move they can make, and they just sit on it for 3 years.
4 years.
Well, it started 4 years, but I'm entitled to the order.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah. Santander, same thing. They took 2.5 grand confer collections. They can't produce the warrant. 4 years. Santander, they took money out my bank. Somebody said they had a court order. Nobody can produce the court order. Cabot, they had a CCJ. They can't produce nothing. Optima Legal, believe it or not, Optima Legal is Marston's. Yeah, a legal company, but it's all owned by Marston's, Rosendales. They're all the same, you know, mafia. Newlyn Debt Collection, 3 months ago, they can't produce the warrant. Reventos, 3 years, can't produce the warrant. Rosendales, 3 years, can't produce their warrant. That was Experian, the credit agency. They got things on my credit file. I said, give me the proof. They can't produce. Equita Bailiff. I mean, I could just go on. Look how long this is. I'm not going to bore you. Here is a interesting one. London Collection and Compliance, saying they have a warrant. I went to the court. I told them that the police PC hat, Mrs. Gondia, the duty solicitor. I said, you both told me there is no warrant. So what are we here for? Where's the... They start looking at each other. They sent me home with nothing. Yeah? They said, you can go home. They never... Sheriff's office, these are people who took my flat and terrorized us. It turns out they're listed as a dormant company at Company's House. They can't do nothing. 5 years now, I can't get anywhere. The court is talking as if they're legitimate. This is the Company's Court in London. You know, Kenneth Warby, the BBC bailiff, it comes from there. Andrew Wilson, 3 years they can't. Several of my clients. This is the one where Julian Fernandez, the guy who died, he spoke to the bailiff, and the bailiff told him he's seen our petition and he don't like the job and he should complain. Now, Andrew Wilson now been shut. They closed down. Yeah. But they opened up a new company called Wilson Rowe. But they shut down this, and I have a funny feeling it's because of the fight back from people like me and others. Thames Magistrate Court, they have a warrant, 3 years now. They can't produce the warrant. Queen's Bench Division, they made a ruling against me that about FCA striking me off that I have a conviction. I got a letter from the court. There is no conviction. So I filed it to them. 2 years now, they won't answer. Registered post, hand delivered, everything. They just stay quiet while I'm losing my income and my livelihood. PRA Group bullshit. Barnet Court, I think everybody knows Barnet Court. They gave me a letter saying there is no judgment against me. So I lost 3 properties. So where is my property? When am I get the properties back? Northampton County, and it just goes on. Rundles, Northampton magistrate. This one, they said I got a speeding ticket. Nick Adderley from Northampton, the chief constable, same one on Margaret's case. The CPS gave me a letter, there is no prosecution. Still, I'm getting letters from Cedar Group. There is a bailiff. Jacobs comes on the Capita. Ealing Borough Council. My property there. I had an interview with the James Murray, the MP. I'm going to put the video up. No warrant, no nothing. Tenants, people thrown on the street, can't get nothing back. Land registry. My 4 properties, none of the papers been signed, no stamp duty paid, no land registry fee. They still won't do nothing. Oxford County Court, I don't know. It just goes on. Hendon Magistrate, they confirm in writing I was never prosecuted. Yet I went to jail. How did I go to jail without a prosecution? So it goes on and on and on. St. Helens, HMRC, that's a good one. They want big tax bill off me. I said I want the bill of sale for my 4 properties. How can I do my tax return if I got 4 properties stolen, and the people who sold them, there's millions of pounds, haven't filed any tax return? They said, oh, you should do an estimate. So I did an estimate, and according to the estimate, I'm entitled to a few grand refund. So they said, oh, you're doing fraud because your figures are fraud. And you don't. I said, well, investigate the fraud. Go on.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me about fraud when people... So the RAC, we know that story. Marston Group, it goes on and on and on. Harrow Crown Court. You know what? Tariq, I'm not stealing your thunder. I'm just showing the extent because this video is going in your bloody evidence, yeah?
We have to.
Harrow Crown Court. Let me tell you a quick story about Harrow Crown. I've been asking them for the case management for years and the order. They made up a fake order and sent it to me in the middle of the night. But guess what, Andy? They didn't send me the order. They sent me the whole software program that they used to make up the order. It's in this resolver here. I can open it and it will come up. And I can go in there and make any order I want now on Harrow Crown Court with a fake logo and all that.
I think we should put orders out for all the police officers.
I'm telling you, Edmonton County Court, I'm entitled to an order there for about 20 grand, where the other side that sued me and we sued each other, came to an agreement, a consent order. So the court don't have any jurisdiction. They just have to rubber stamp it. This is 3 years now. I can't get my order. So, look, it doesn't end. I'm going to stop now, but it goes on for quite some more. You understand? I'm one person. You know, London Barnet Council, they're supposed to investigate illegal eviction. We have all the evidence of illegal eviction. And they keep sending bailiffs for the council tax every year after us for the properties that have been repossessed. They're sending capital bailiffs. You can't make this up. So I feel for you, Tariq, but I'm just using my case as a little example that what you've been through. My case is a little bit more documented in that way. But this arrest warrant, man, it's a legend. Yeah? Marstons, the police must investigate this right now and leave the mentally ill Miss Coester out of it. Let her go and recover somewhere. You know, you're not doing anything drastic to her or whatever because you made a couple of little social media posts. They have all the resources to be coming after your whole family. Your whole family. They locked up your uncle, didn't they, Tariq?
Well, they attempted to. They arrested him.
And said he looks like you.
8 of them.
And 8 police and said he looks like you.
So the photo out there has no beard. They look at him with a beard. It's you.
Let's forget the photo, yeah? they're working on that. So they're saying the paper they have looks like a warrant. Your uncle looks like you, and the paper looks like a court order. You understand? We're dealing with resemblances here.
Likeness.
They must investigate this right now.
If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Listen, man, I don't know. I don't think anybody ever approached all these things in this way, you know, and that's the reason why it got so bad, because they got their lawyers, they got the citizen advice, the council, all the back, you know, masking it, the pyramid of terror. There's no way for the public to go, and they're none the wiser. Imagine that your enemy is giving you a free duty solicitor.
It's like I mean, the police, if they're not trained to understand what an order is, if they can't do their own due diligence, I mean, they do. I mean, like when Karen went to the police to report it, there was a lady behind the counter, right? Yeah, a lady policewoman behind the counter, and she knew a friend in the court. She phoned the court up. There was the three numbers, yeah, the two fake numbers, yeah, and another. Well, they're all fake numbers, but the two fake numbers that they generated and turned into this other number. She gave her all three numbers. The policewoman phoned up the court. None of those numbers were on the court system. And they're still carrying on.
Yeah. Because they have it's a one-trick pony. They only have one trick, and that trick is violence, you know, which is supported by fake court order. You take away the fake court order, they got no leg to stand. They're like a fish out of water. Yeah. But why are these guys are our employees on a wage? Why are they working against us?
That's the question. That's the question to all those police out there.
Are they getting their share of the child sex slaves? Is that the incentive they're getting?
Do they have an invested interest?
Because, Tariq, you're one of your people that came with a master's warrant and threw you out of your restaurant with the police violently threw you out. Andrew Lamont was your local councillor, and he was your landlord for the restaurant, right?
Right, a convicted paedophile.
And he had an Airbnb upstairs, and you had a fantastic restaurant called Organicos, and yeah, it turns out he's on the pedophile register. So we're seeing all the time the pedophiles have a connection with the fake warrant kind of business. It seems to be somehow there's a link. In my case, two of the child protection officers who failed to protect the children were jailed for child sexual abuse. Christopher Maitland and Stephen Kedek. And we're seeing it in George's case. The witness they've been using against him for years and years and years on numerous fake order is a convicted pedophile, and he didn't know until recently. In the meantime, they moved him out. They moved him out immediately.
And this is the bond that glues them all together, man.
It seems to
this
be
is what keeps them so tight.
Some perverse link. Because I couldn't figure out how my 3-year-old baby was being thrown on the street. I think, how is that possible? And they actually came round when my tenant's baby was thrown out. We shall call her baby N. She was 3, and they told the bailiff, this is bailiff called Kevin McNally. Now he's from the sheriff's office, which is listed as a dormant company. He's a BBC bailiff. And they didn't arrest him for illegal eviction, but they did get the baby's things back. But, like, it didn't click that these people had no sympathy or empathy for children.
I don't know how those police sleep at night, really. I really don't know how them police sleep at night. And I can imagine they're having it probably just as bad as we are, you know, maybe, possibly. But at the end of the day, they're still taking their wages at the end of the week.
I believe they drown their sorrows in drugs. You understand? You have legal drugs and you got illegal drugs, you know. So I reckon they drown themselves in it. I mean that guy who came to my house in the car, Christopher Williams, the police from Barnet. You look in his eyes. A lot of people on the comments. If you read all them comments, people said this guy looks high as a kite. You know, look at his eyes. You know. He resigned very shortly after that day. You know, the one who Paul Purdy. You done a wonderful video on him, Andy. He had
think
kids my age. He had kids same age as my kids. So why you throw my kids on the street?
because they wanted them.
You know,
They probably were going to steal. You know,
they tried. They
because of what
tried.
you've done.
When I was in the probation now, they keep asking me about my children. Yeah, I'm so what's the children got to? That time I wasn't wise too. I was innocent, but it just seems strange. Why you want to know about my kids? What's going on about my kids? Then when I was in the prison, locked up unlawfully without the prosecution, the Marstons who run the tax credit, they come under the name of Rosendales, and a company called Concentrics, who had the thing with tax credit, made a report between themselves to each other that I had a relationship breakdown. So the probation was working on about the kids, and they were sending papers here. Now, on that papers they sent to each other, they wanted money back from me that I received for tax credits based on information between themselves. I had no foundation. And it says Rosendale, so I didn't click long after I realized Rosendale's is Marston's. And I took on Concentrics. I said, where did you get this information? I had a relationship breakdown. I want to know. And I was writing to the chief, and I was writing to John Thompson, who is the head of the HMRC. Next thing I know, apparently there were a lot of other people taking it on. I saw John Thompson being interviewed on TV in Parliament, and Concentric lost their contract with the government very shortly after. I never paid them 1 penny for what they were talking about. But the problem is, were they making moves to take my children?
100%, mate. Because that's exactly what they do with everybody else out there. And your story that you just told you there, yeah, I'm sure that will resonate with all the other people out there that have had their children taken, because that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do.
And underneath it, you know, they said I was prosecuted. They said Harrow Crown Court issued an order. Probation is taking me on the project with an order. I'm saying, where is the order? I'm kicking and screaming all the way. Where is the order? Eventually, long after the event, or during the time, I had a letter from the probation. I think, let me see. I just saw it here recently. I can't lay my hands on it.
Bear in mind, yeah, just to add weight to all this, like 2 of those policemen that Anthony's talking about, Stephen Kodak and the other guy, yeah, one of them was actually done for making child porn, making it with children, man. And these all had connections also with DC Steve Martin, didn't they?
Yeah, same Barnet people, Finchley Road.
With the Finchley Road, yeah, and we all know about the Hampstead children case there. And we also know exactly how many was involved in that the children told us that was involved in that cult that Ricky Damon was the father of. You know, he was the leader of that cult. You know?
And what worries me is how many are not in jail. They're still doing what the others were jailed for. Because you can bet your life they're not the only 2.
100%.
I've got a list of over 190 convicted paedophiles. The majority of them did not go to prison.
What was that, Tariq? I missed that.
That's 100. I have a list
Mm-hmm.
at home with over 190 convicted Parliamentary Council paedophiles. A majority of them did not go to prison.
Wow.
Obviously, they run the course. Obviously, it comes from the top. Paedophilia is okay. It's just don't do it again.
Yeah.
You know,
There was one in the paper just
don't
yesterday.
do it again. It's don't get caught.
Yeah.
They continue to do it. A paedophile doesn't stop because he's been caught. He's an ill person. They are not going to stop.
Like Gary Glitter, they'll go over to Cambodia and Thailand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Fly over there and they bring them back. They've probably got 7 points.
So Tariq, yeah,
Mhm.
we're making this appeal to the public, to your community, to the world, because there's many countries this is going on, probably most countries.
Mhm.
We get calls from Australia all over the place. As a matter of fact, I had a Australian guy make a video how wonderful the work we're doing is. I keep saying I'm going to put it up on the internet, but they need your support, you know. We're going to put up a Pyramid of Terror video on the petition and link it up somehow. We code it in and we're going to put it out and we're going to send it to every MP in the country. And many journalists, as we 300-400 journalists, and another 10,000 or so supporters. And we just want either they produce the court order, which they don't have. They must leave you alone, make you an apology in public, because they put this thing in public, and offer you some redress. So you can
reparations are in order. You know,
can spend a good 6 months to rebuild your energy and get back. How many years they've been hounding you now on can't produce a single court order?
2014.
I mean, that's you know.
And you could, and that includes approximately 8 months over that period of 8 years prison.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
you know, not guilty. They just send you to prison because you didn't turn up to court,
and they can't produce.
And you haven't produced anything that I've been asking for, but you can send me to prison.
Yeah.
So it's not prison. That's what do you call it, Andy?
Center.
They lock you up without any due process. What's it called?
Kidnap.
It's horrible.
It's kidnap, mate. It's kidnap.
Tomorrow.
My advice would be to the friends and family of Tariq would be to individually and in unity demand from these public servants, these policemen, to see the warrant, to see what created that warrant, and to make sure that due process was done and there was no procedures breached, and what they're claiming is of material fact. But when you're doing this, I would make sure that the policemen that you're speaking to are constables, that they are on their oath of office, that they understand the Nolan principles and will adhere to the Nolan principles, which is honesty, integrity and selflessness, and to provide you the information under the penalty of perjury in writing and signed to whether or not this alleged order exists and is of material fact. And I would demand that they did that, and they meant in you because they're being paid by the public. They're taking money to do that. And if enough of you do it, you will create that pressure. And it's not just for Tariq, by the way, because you're not just doing this for Tariq, you're doing this for everybody, because this is happening to everybody. And in fact, not just Tariq's family and friends, you should all be doing this. And not just for Tariq, you should be doing this for your own, these alleged courts that you're being taken to. We need to hold them accountable. We need to make you certain. That's it. You've a right to be made certain. And until you are made certain, none of this exists. They're the ones that's making the claim, and the maxim and law are bulletproof. The maxim states he who makes the claim carries the burden of proof. And that lies on every single one of you policemen, every single one of you public servants that are going around making allegations that it is a court case, that there is a court order, or there is a warrant. Because until you provide that material evidence, it's only words, and they are of no material facts.
Well, this a message also to Inspector Hughes of Surrey Police, who contacted my uncle after my uncle made the report from the police harassment terrorist visit by 8 police officers. My uncle did ask for the paperwork at the authority, including the warrants, and his response was, "You don't need a warrant." So, Mr. Inspector Hughes,
What do you need?
by the material evidence that you rely upon, that a warrant is not required. Simple.
Which means, in my understanding of it, then you had strong beliefs, very strong beliefs, that Tariq was in that house. And it would confuse, really, wouldn't it, really? Why would they handcuff a man and then go and search the house when they thought that man was you, when they was only looking for you? So why did they go in the house if they had already arrested the man that they thought was you? Very confusing.
And then when my uncle said, "Come in the house, I have my wallet, you can see the driver's license," he produced it. When they saw that, one of the police officers wanted to really explain, but my uncle was not interested. He gave him the what for. Get out of the house. You know, don't want to hear it. An immediate report. It's a shame. It was lucky he was alone. Can you imagine how he would have felt? Neighbours that we've known. We have been the longest serving residents on that road. And for them to see that, who know us, who have seen us grow up, some of them who are still living there as long as us, who've seen us grow up, and to witness that, how do you explain that?
Simple. It's called gaslighting. It's called gaslighting, to attack your family so that they single you out on your own and you're left on your own. And that is exactly what they're doing. 101, just like they did with Carol Woods and so on and so forth, every other one.
But I can tell you now, the response from the community is they don't believe it. And I can tell you now, when I go and visit the fire brigade of Guildford and Woking, who I have friends there who I grew up with, they know me and they will be disgusted and they will give the support. When the fire brigade get involved, the public get involved because the public love the fire brigade. They don't love the police. They love the fire brigade. And they're losing faith of the NHS also. But the fire brigade are the only honourable public service. So any support that we require will begin tomorrow with the councillor, and then that will go to the fire brigade. I will visit them. I'll present the material evidence. But the councillor will have to get involved. Begins tomorrow, and then Inspector Hughes on Sunday has to answer my uncle's questions. And then we will see what will happen from there. But the councillor now must get involved. It's your duty. You wanted the public to vote for you to represent them, and yet you will not get involved. You have been communicated with in the last 2 years. You received emails from me and you have ignored it. This time, if you ignore it, there will be noise. I'm not running away. I'm not a fugitive. I'm getting on with my life. In fact, I find it actually quite laughable. Even my family are laughing at it. While you are talking, anyone who is out there talking, we are laughing. And anyone who knows me are laughing. Because anyone who really knows you, they're saying, "You don't worry, if you need to lay your head, you know where we are." So the support is there. I have nothing to worry about. I'm not hiding from anything. It is laughable. So, inspectors, police officers, just present the material evidence and I'll come and speak to you. It's not a problem. You know, you're wasting taxpayers' money. This is now
What's cheaper, people? What's cheaper? For the police to do their due diligence, which is what they should have already done anyway, to find out whether those things were valid, authentic, and had any of any material fact, or keep sending police out to go and disturb other people and cause all this trouble. You know, you policemen that are going out doing this, you're being used like puppets. Don't you feel ashamed? Don't you feel disgusted what your bosses are doing to you? This is to you, policemen and women. We're not being here vindictive or anything. We're just asking you to be honourable, just like the Nolan principles that you're meant to adhere to. Show some integrity. Be transparent. We want to see it. We want to be made certain. And if you make us certain, you don't need to send in or in. Tariq will come in personally, because he's been asking for years now, and it's still not been provided. None of the things have been provided. It's a disgrace. You should all hold your head in shame, really.
Let's just hope that day doesn't come that they lynch you and hang you off Parliament Bridge as an example.
Exactly, because we
I
don't
think a
want that.
court case, a hearing to find you guilty and send you to prison, that's too good for you. So do what is right. Families are suffering here. It's causing embarrassment. You have no authority to defame.
But that's what you want us to do, don't you? That's what the policeman's bosses want you to do. They're sending you police out there so that you do get lynched, so that you do get dragged out and hung off long posts. We don't want to see that. But that's what they do, just so that they can use you as little pawns to get you killed so that they can send in the big boys. We don't want trouble. We just want transparency. We want to be made certain. Now provide the material evidence you keep claiming of, which the maxim states that you must now adhere to, because you now carry the burden of proof. Now provide that. We need to see the order. We need to see the case management file. We need to see the rest of the stuff, i.e. the application form sealed by the court, the information lay, which contains not only the claim, but the substantiation, the substance of the claim, the witness statements, the material evidence to substantiate those claims are of genuine and matter of fact, and also the filing fee of those alleged filings that created those alleged case numbers that were attached to an alleged case management file that doesn't seem to exist, and there is no record of it.
And also the report that was filed last February in the Metropolitan's police system. And also, can you please return all legal documents? It is a crime to destroy legal documents, evidence. And it appears that you may have destroyed devices containing legal evidence. If that is the case, that's certainly malfeasance in public office. Criminal fraud.
To life in prison.
I mean, this is there is a reggae song called Cowboy Town. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, that you don't need to watch a Western movie. This is what's going on here. But Tariq, you've done a marvelous job to fight back, to stay, you know, sane in all this, and your family is with you, thank God. They have not produced this order. They can't produce the prosecution. It's more than enough time gone by. You've seen the Marston's bullshit that they say is a warrant. It's time a proper criminal investigation take place against the people who made these false cases. It's very difficult because we've got the perimeter of terror situation. So we need the public wake up. www.scambuster.tv. Let's work.
Mm-hmm.
We've been asleep at the wheel for too long, guys. It's time to rise up and demand what's right.
One last message, just to
Right.
Lisa Townsend, the newly elected Crime Commissioner of Surrey. Your words, you can find that on Google. I shall hold the Chief Constable accountable. Will you now? Because you support the £10 increase in council tax for the police. What is that for?
Do you really want us to fund our own demise? Fund the people that will just follow orders and do the wrong thing?
Listen, guys.
And again,
thank you so much.
Good evening.
on that note,
Love
God
and
bless.
bless.
Please share far and wide.
Good night.
Please do share this to Surrey Police. Please do get in touch with the Surrey
Get
Police.
it everywhere. We've
Provide
done the
that
hard
material
work. We
evidence.
need people to
And
help
next,
us to get
please.
it out there. Thank you very much.
God
Good
bless
night.
now.
Cheers, Tariq.
Take care now. God bless. Bye-bye.
Anthony, Andrew, bye-bye.
Take care, mate. You keep safe. God bless. Bye-bye now.